What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's TV review of Season 1 of the new Netflix original anime, Yasuke. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as commenting below any video you watch, including this one. So, Yasuke, the anime, is apparently based on somewhat of a true story of a character named Yasuke, who in the 16th century, thanks to his kind of owner, Nobunaga, he was actually a samurai, an African-American samurai, which is kind of fascinating if you think about it, because, you know, that's not something you always hear about. I actually knew nothing about the story, which is really fascinating when you look up like Wikipedia and read some lore about it. But Yasuke was a slave with the Jesuits, and he actually was rescued by Nobunaga, who turned him into, of course, a samurai. And then, of course, the Hanoji incident, which I read about a little bit of it, was basically when Nobunaga's general basically betrayed Nobunaga, and of course Yasuke was part of that battle, which is apparently some really important thing that I didn't know about, so it's really kind of cool to read up on it. And so this story, which is Yasuke's story, takes from the Hanoji incident and kind of uses a more fantastical approach where Yasuke goes into hiding. He's basically decapitated his Nobunaga because of the whole idea of Japanese and the suicide and honor and stuff like that. And he goes into hiding as a character named Janssen, who is at this local village as a boat person. Well, in the process, there's this young girl who this mother is trying to basically keep healthy. She's very, very sick, but she holds something truly special that basically incorporates some villainous people trying to go after the young daughter, whose name's Saki. It becomes an adventure of, it's a two-part story. There's one involving a priest who hires a bunch of local thugs, which includes this really funny character that's kind of a mech. It's almost like Baymax in a lot of ways, but one turns into a wolf, and one has the ability to project cool things. And then you have another thing, which is the more important story of this local individual who has become corrupted and stuff like that. And in turn, it's basically about Yasuke and Saki trying to get to this doctor in this local village, and in the process being attacked by these vagrants and so on and so forth. And so going into a series like this, like I've said before, anime is really hit or miss with me. There are some animes that I truly enjoy, but there are some animes like Dota, which I just really didn't get on board with. And I definitely heard people when they really went off on me about that, which is fine. They're more than welcome to do that. But an anime like this, after watching the trailer, after seeing kind of the pictures and stuff like that, I was really intrigued by it for the simple fact that it looked like it was going to be a gorgeous anime. And then on top of that, you have LaKeith Stanfield, who is basically an Oscar nominee at this point for Black Klansman, who also was Get Out, a very fun actor. Ming is in this series. It's a series that's created by a very controversial studio called MAPPA, which is the last season of Attack on Titan, which is something I'm not going to get into because it's a really fascinating kind of toxic situation. But it was also a series that is created by Nick Jones Jr., who of course worked on Black Dynamite, which is a fantastic anime. And it has music by Flying Lotus, and is also a producer on the show, which Flying Lotus has, that I've grown to love in the last year or so. And so with all that said, with everything kind of in place, I was really kind of looking forward to this. And after watching the 6 episodes, which, like I said, take about 30 minutes apiece, I really love this series. The series is fantastic, hardcore, violent, which I was expecting because it's a samurai show. But it does it with such panache. It does this with such artistry. The characters and their kind of movement, watching Yasuke and how he moves as a samurai, how he doesn't want to fight people, but when he's forced to, he with his grace and how much he moves, and his just kind of like calmness and everything is really fun to watch. The villains in this series are really cool to look at, really fun to kind of imagine what they would look like in real life. They're very kind of well drawn. They're very unique in their perspectives. They have a lot of menace behind what they're trying to do. And the way the story flows, the way the animation is kind of, it moves along in a brisk pace, but still doesn't bog itself down, it's great. Like, everything about it is great. All the characters have some really interesting motivations behind them. There's some interesting twists and surprises. And I really feel that the group behind this, I think, has done a really nice job of creating a world that, though it looks very anime, it looks very kind of non-traditional, really feels like it has sense of purpose. It really has a feeling that you get when you watch it, and it really feels like a show that really it takes its time and really does a nice job with presenting something truly unique. And then when you get into like the character animations themselves, they're very well drawn, they're very well animated. Yasuke's, when he gets into samurai mode, it's very clean, it flows very nicely. It doesn't feel like it's all choppy and weird, and it's just his character is just, he's a gigantic individual, but he is, an individual that uses a lot of grace and a lot of movement for his style, and he's a guy that's very strong in his abilities and stuff like that. And you can look at like any shot in this series and just be kind of mesmerized by how good it looks, how much it reverberates and just kind of pops when you see it on screen. And like I said, there's some very gory moments in this, but it almost feels beautiful, and its kind of structure and nature. It's still very much an anime, so it's very over the top and silly in some places, but I think when you kind of sit down and you kind of take a back seat and just kind of let this series flow through you and just take it all in, you just really feel the momentum and the excitement that the crew that's involved with the series and the producers and the actors and so on and so forth really had a good time doing this series. And I felt every minute of it, and I just, it's great. It really is. I can't wait for what happens next. And, it comes to a conclusion, a kind of a finite conclusion. But, like any anime, you could do a second series or second season and, do something really cool with it. So with that said, the last thing I'll talk about, as I always do, is the music and the soundtrack. It's, like I said, done by Flying Lotus, and I really love the intro song that is done for it. It's very cool. It's very graceful. It's very, kind of operatic in a lot of aspects. And I really feel that Flying Lotus really captured a very ambient, very heart-pounding score that, once you start listening to it, you start feeling the groove of the actual score, and you start feeling the kind of, the slow melodies, the fast melodies, and you feel like you're really kind of thrust into a world that is very much a samurai story told through a real kind of true life individual. And it's really kind of cool to learn stuff about, people that you've never heard of before, because it kind of gives you a new perspective on the ideas of cultures and like how people look at people in certain ways, and, the ideas of what they present and so on and so forth. So it's just a really cool story. The fact that it's actually somewhat real, outside the fantastical elements, which when you see it, is really cool. I really enjoyed it. So overall, I'm going to give the series a 9.5 out of 10. Like I said, some of the anime is a little wonky. Some of the anime aspects are a little too much for me, but 9.5 out of 10. I think it's fantastic, and I think you will enjoy it as much as I did. Especially if you love anime, I think you'll really enjoy it. So, but that'll do it. That'll be my take on Yasuke, the first season. Thank you so much for watching. When this series premieres, which I'll do in a couple days, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this series. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you have a favorite part about it? All the good stuff. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, see you guys on the next video. Peace out.